A factory in LA is building the perfect man from silicone, and women are lining up to buy them. Custom faces, custom bodies, even custom attachments. This is the world of male sex dolls, and it's way stranger than you think. The factory of fantasies. It starts here, inside a warehouse in Los Angeles, where a team quietly builds anatomically perfect men from scratch. Not statues.
Sinthetics is the world's leading manufacturer of anatomically accurate dolls.
Not mannequins, but hyper-realistic silicone bodies, designed to look, feel, and move like real partners.
It's here in their LA factory that Sinthetics is finally giving women the chance to erect their perfect man.
The company calls itself Sinthetics, and the workers treat every inch of these dolls like a piece of art. They sculpt faces, paint details, add scars and freckles, and even customize hair and anatomy based on whatever the buyer wants.
Since ancient times, men have been getting it on with synthetic women.
For years, men dominated the sex doll world until women discovered this place. And once they did, everything changed.
In 8 AD, Ovid wrote Metamorphosis, a myth involving a woman named Galatea, sculpted from ivory.
Before this factory even existed, sex dolls had a long, weird history. Men have been using synthetic partners since ancient times, from myths like Galatea, a statue loved into life, all the way to cheap inflatable dolls sold in 1960s porn magazines when it first became legal to mail sexual devices. But over the decades, these dolls changed from a dirty secret into something high-end, realistic, and personal.
I made it my mission to experience the first male doll because, gender equality.
And for the first time ever, that evolution is shifting toward women. Male dolls used to be a joke, a niche nobody took seriously, until technology got good enough to blur the line between fantasy and reality. Now women are designing their perfect man, down to the chest hair, scars, and even the personality the creators build into each doll. Inside the factory, the process is way more intense than anyone expects.
We're making art that has to stand the test of time. The processes that I do, it has longevity in mind.
The team sculpts every body by hand, treating each doll like a character with its own backstory.
We sort of take these creations and work these story arcs into a character.
Heads sit in cabinets, bodies wait on racks, and the final assembly only happens on shipping day, meaning even the creators don't see the finished doll until it's about to leave the building. Silicone is mixed, poured into molds, left overnight, then painted layer by layer to look alive.
They're very often heads in a cabinet and bodies. On shipping day, the body and the head go together for the first time for us, so we actually haven't seen it.
The skeletons are built like machines, tightened and engineered to hold poses and weight correctly. And when it comes to anatomy, everything is interchangeable. Different sizes, different shapes, snap-on parts, all cast from real people to feel as lifelike as possible.
And I'm one of the co-owners of Sinthetics, and I do all the admin stuff.
Once the male dolls hit the market, the factory learns something fast. People's fantasies are way stranger than anyone admits publicly. At first, customers wanted normal things. A certain face, a certain build, a certain amount of chest hair. But it escalated quickly. Some clients asked for dolls based on fictional characters, creatures.
We're not allowed to do naughty things. Just a little bit of an inkling that women really do want male dolls.
Or designs that were never meant to exist outside of a comic panel. They'd send in photos, sketches, entire mood boards, and expect the team to turn it into a full silicone partner.
Occasionally, Matt and Brahman will get a request that's, shall we say, eccentric.
And because every doll is custom made, the factory actually tries to deliver. The strangest requests are the ones that even the workers don't see coming.
She wants this character.
Extra body parts, unusual placements, anatomical designs that don't match any real human. The kind of ideas that start as jokes.
But clearly not an $8,000 head for this.
Until someone pays for them. The now famous ankle request came from a customer who already owned multiple silicone feet.
She asked me, she said, this client wants a vagina on the flat spot on top of the ankle. Can you do that?
Instead of laughing it off, the creators treated it like a challenge. Within hours, they were sculpting it, engineering it, and proudly showing it off once it worked. That's what makes this chapter of the story so surreal. The people behind these dolls aren't disturbed by the requests. They're inspired by them.
The Sinthetics HQ feels like something between a sexual laboratory and a factory of fantasies.
The weirder it is, the more excited they become. In this factory, nothing is taboo, and nothing is off the table. If a customer imagines it, they'll try to build it. And with every strange order, the line between fetish, fantasy, and craftsmanship gets thinner and thinner.
Puts all the nuts and bolts in it to make sure that they're torqued to the right spec, and then builds the skeletons, casts foam.
As demand grew, the story shifted from the factory to the people actually buying these dolls. And this part is nothing like the stereotypes. The team expected creepy guys, but instead found something completely different. Women, lots of them. Women in long-distance relationships, women tired of dating apps, women who wanted control without the emotional mess, and women who just preferred a partner who wouldn't disappoint or ghost them.
Popular dick is this one right here. Yeah, this is uncut. This is the most popular one.
Most of them would never show their face on camera, but behind the scenes they were excited, curious, and very specific about what they wanted. When the film crew finally met someone willing to talk openly, everything clicked. She didn't see the doll as a joke, she saw it as a solution. No scheduling, no awkward conversations, no pressure.
Bronwyn and Matt have a client in the area who recently received her very own silicone boyfriend.
She talked about experimenting in ways she never could with real partners, about avoiding clinginess or detachment, and about the freedom of having something that felt human.
Shoot porn, and I cam and pretty much shoot porn.
But didn't bring human problems. In her world, the doll wasn't replacing men. It was replacing the chaos that comes with them.
As much as I try to have like fuck buddies, it can get really complicated.
And she wasn't alone. Many women quietly told the company they loved their dolls, but didn't want to be seen publicly with them. Not because they were embarrassed of the doll, but because society wasn't ready to accept women wanting a silent, perfect, customizable partner. The owners weren't ashamed, they were relieved. For them, the doll wasn't fantasy or fetish. It was convenience, comfort, and control. And the more you listen to their stories, the more you realize this chapter of the doll world isn't about sex. It's about escape. Everything leads to the moment when someone finally meets their finished doll for the first time.
It's on to dehumanize something, but in this case, it's humanizing kind of a sex toy. It's making it more human.
And this is where the tone of the story flips, because seeing a customer interact with a hyper-realistic silicone man isn't funny or shocking anymore. It's emotional. The woman in the transcript walks into the room slowly, almost nervous. She circles the doll like she's studying a real person, brushing the hair, touching the chest, testing the weight of his arms. She talks about him the way people talk about a partner they haven't seen in months. And the strangest part? The creators treat the moment with total seriousness, almost like they're delivering someone's fiancé, not a product. As she tries different positions and adjusts the body, she admits something most viewers never expect to hear.
Left to my own devices, I could be with a male doll, touching his chest, like having sex with him and really be lost in my own fantasy.
The doll makes her feel safe. Safe to experiment, safe to be selfish, safe to explore fantasies without judgment or disappointment. And while she moves him around, you can see why people get attached. The doll doesn't talk back, doesn't tense up, doesn't hesitate, doesn't reject her. It's predictable, consistent, and built exactly the way she wanted. For her, intimacy with the doll isn't replacing real relationships. It's filling a gap she can't fill anywhere else. Watching her interact with it, you start to understand the real hook behind this whole industry. It's not just about sex.
Except that I'm completely in control.
I don't think the English language has enough words to describe love.
It's about control, comfort, and a kind of emotional privacy that real partners rarely give. For some people, this isn't a doll at all. It's the one relationship where nothing can go wrong. Let me know when you want the final chapter. By the end of the story, it becomes clear this world isn't really about dolls at all. It's about what people are missing in their actual lives. The factory gives bodies, but the customers bring the meaning. Some want a partner who won't cheat, leave, or lose interest. Some want someone who won't judge their fantasies. Others want the feeling of closeness without the pressure of being perfect themselves. The dolls become stand-ins for confidence, control, and the kind of emotional safety that real relationships rarely guarantee. And the workers know this. They talk about how every order says more about the customer's life than the product itself. They can tell who's lonely, who's traumatized, who's curious, and who's simply fed up with trying to meet people who don't meet them halfway. The documentary ends with an uncomfortable truth. The demand for these dolls isn't slowing down. If anything, it's growing. Because modern relationships are getting harder, people are getting more isolated, and intimacy is becoming something people don't know how to ask for anymore. In a world where everyone is too busy, too distracted, or too scared to be vulnerable, a silicone partner is predictable. It never argues, never ignores messages, never falls out of love, never leaves. And that's why this industry is rising, not because people prefer dolls, but because real connection is getting harder to find. The last shots make it clear. This is way bigger than one factory or one customer. It's a mirror, a reflection of how many people feel untouched, unheard, unseen. For some, a doll is the only place where they feel wanted. For others, it's the first time they feel in control of their own intimacy. And whether you see that as sad, strange, or understandable, the truth is simple. These dolls aren't replacing humanity. They're replacing the parts of humanity we've stopped giving to each other.